All right, I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Happy
Happy
Easter's.
Easter.
Happy
Yeah,
Easter, bro.
Ofatu Coco.
Ofatu, man. It's nice to listen to a little bit of some little bit of Motab.
Yeah, I get that spiritual healing.
I seen a lot of everyone went to church today.
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
oh,
yep. Went,
oh,
I went,
ah,
went with,
shoot.
went with my parents.
Oh, nice. That's what I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. I should have had my kava bowl ready or kava bucket. That's the secret, folks. That is the
This
secret to our
is a
podcast.
secret.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Bye, man.
Yeah.
Gonna be doing a lot of that coming up in a few weeks here in May. Can't wait, man. Can't wait to
Are you
see you
getting out?
guys.
You getting out to Texas too? Maybe
Yeah, I might go take a tour of like work stuff down there and check it out.
check out the op center over there.
Yeah, check it out. Just go and give it a look. Nothing serious or anything like that, but
Just for kicks.
yeah, just for kicks, just to get just to do some
Yeah,
intel
you
work.
never know.
Yeah, might end up there. I didn't know that freaking Texas has. They don't want to. First of all, they don't have income tax, state income tax
Right,
there,
right.
and but they have like a high property tax. So I guess it balances out.
A little bit. There's some toll tax that they get it back into,
Really?
but yeah, just like on the highways. So they
Mm,
have some ways to kind of, but you have ways around that as well. And you if you are you have ways around some of the property tax too if you are an investor. So there's things you can do to keep more of your money there. But that is, I think people end up keeping more of their money, which is why people move there.
in Texas.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I heard the like property taxes don't go down over there, huh? Something like that. I've just been seeing, I've been researching because we're looking on doing some investment properties,
Right.
but
I think
like,
I think it has a lot to do with how much the homes are, right? And so if you have everything in high demand right now, you're going to have your percentage of that home that that property tax is going to go up.
mm,
But we'll see what happens. I think the housing market will take a dip here going forward, just as a market correction, so that families can afford to get into their first house. Every so often we just see a market correction
yeah,
because true value of homes is overinflated. So
mm-hmm,
that's the point of wrangling everything in place is, well, while it sucks to have them go down, it keeps the prices from just going up and up and up and up and up and up and never have any end there.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy, man. A lot of crazy things going on. Did you watch any of the fights yesterday? UFC?
No, I missed everything. I watched some of the highlights. I
Mm,
saw Adesanya. I saw the knockout, which was awesome. So I saw a couple of the highlights, but I didn't watch. Did you watch everything?
no, I missed it too. I was
We need
observing
Joe.
yeah, I think Joe watched it, but he was talking about it in the chat there. But yeah, no, we had a family funeral. I was observing, so just had to put our energy towards that. And but yeah, man, not much. Been a interesting week. How's your week been, man?
It was a good week. I was just on the road quite a bit, so I was on the road in hotels from Tuesday till Friday. So that's always, I prefer to be at home, but the duties of the job require that I'm on the road and in hotels quite a bit, and it is fun to be out there and explore. I don't really have a whole lot of time to explore because mostly I'm just on task to where I'm supposed to go, but it's
Hmm.
just cool to see everything on the way, right? And meet new people. And, I do enjoy all that stuff, but there's just nothing beats sleeping in your own bed.
Tell me about it, man. Nothing beats that. just comfortable, and the comfort, your sheets, there's no one else has been in your bed,
Right.
comfortable sheets, pillows, those pillows. Ah, yeah, it's much more better sleeping in your bed. But yeah, I hear you, man. You gotta handle business, man. You gotta keep pushing.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, shout out to Paul. I know today is a special day, and a lot of people who celebrate the Christian or who observe the Christian faith, observe Easter. Today is Easter Sunday, and it also happens to be one of our buddies from the podcast, Paul Faneka. It is his 21st birthday today. Shout out to you, Paul.
21.
I
21.
don't know if he's maybe the fifth time
Like
celebrating 21.
again, again and again.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, brother. Love you, man. Ofatu.
Yeah, Hofatu Paul. He
Yeah.
so tell us since it is his birthday, tell us a story about just a funny story, maybe not an embarrassing one because we don't want to embarrass him, but just tell us a story maybe how about maybe when you first met him, or just tell us a story that you remember about Paul.
When did I meet Paul? I met Paul. I don't know. When did I meet Paul? I think it was when I went down to watch because me and Ati played at Dixie State, right? We were Rebels. Then he
Mm.
came over to ASU. I think it was the first season, first or second season at ASU. I think the first. And they ended up going to playing, I think, Rutgers for some bowl game. And they ended up winning that bowl game. But I think that might have been no, no, no. Maybe I met Paul the next year. Yeah. But yeah, Paul's always been just a humble dude, man. Just a salt of the earth type of guy. Always just he was a hard worker. He walked on at ASU, Arizona State football. He was from the Bay Area. He had walked on, no scholarship, and the time he was trying to earn a scholarship. But I think that's when we really got to know, because I ended up moving down to ASU. I lived with Paul and his brother Drew, who we had on the podcast previously, and coach there. So I was down there. I think I went down there. Me and Balu, actually, we were flying through. We had stayed over a night. I guess coach like invited me to come down and stay with him. You know how coach is, it's
Yeah.
just an open, friendly guy. He's like, "Yeah, come down here and live with me." I don't think those guys knew that I would actually end up moving down there. At the time, I was working for America West Airlines, and going to school. And then, but I ended up going down there. I followed coach down to ASU, living down there. That's when we lived in that apartment, 1027, just off of it was near the campus in Tempe.
Shout out to 1027.
1027 Uppercut, man. That was a great times, man. And there's a what, 3 bedrooms, and I just stayed wherever. When coach wasn't there, he was off traveling, I'd stay in coach's room, or I'd crash in the living room on that single mattress. It was just a transient type of apartment, man. Everyone was welcome, a lot of love and care, and just a lot of great things, like, great college experiences and stuff like that. But a lot of camaraderie, and a lot of mixing. That's where I met a lot of my friends. And still to this day, still good friends with Paul and Drew and Coach. And but I think that's the first time I actually met Paul, was being invited to come stay down there at a after having mixed with, like, for a week with those guys.
I think the first time I went over there, remember when you guys told, I think it was the first time I met Brett too, but you told Brett to dress up.
Yeah.
What was that event for?
I want to say, wasn't it like a bowl game or something? Or was it, no, it was New Year's Eve. New Year's.
Oh, was it New
And
Year's?
I think it was like the Fiesta Bowl too, or something was going on. But
Because
I believe it was
you
like New
guys
Year's
told him
Eve.
to, yeah, you told him to dress up, but nobody else was dressed up.
Yeah. My man came out with a white coat.
Yeah, yeah, he looked good. He was sharp. But I remember I think he was the most dressed up. So I remember one of the first times I mixed with you guys over there at that spot at 1027. It was I think it was you, it was Coach, it was Paul, it was Big Rich, and it was Brett. It's these giant ass human beings
Hmm.
all in there. So you remember Rich, right? Rich was
Yeah.
he played O line as well, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
those of you listening, Paul's like 6'6", like a giant human being. And I had been, mind you, I had been around Polynesians, and at this point, like, I'm small around Polynesians, but by normal standards, I'm not necessarily a small person, but around Polynesians, I am. That was magnified walking in where it was like, this guy, Paul, was twice the size of
Yeah. Then you
and
got
big
Brett,
big
six
rich,
seven.
Brett
Big
six
Rich
seven.
too.
Well, he's
Big
six
Rich was
four,
like
six
six
five.
five, 6'4". Yeah.
Yep.
Massive dudes, man.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first memories of just these giant human beings. But same thing with you. You realize quick how dedicated Paul was, and he was gonna do anything to make it right. And
Yeah.
you could tell right away, and smart, like I always call him kid, but he's not. At that point I was a few years older than him, but not really kid. But he was just really smart. You could tell he was intellectual, deep thinker, and a hard worker. In that combination, you see what happened, right? He made it to the league.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Paul, I remember we would be mixing until they had weights. Like I know they had morning weights sometimes. We would mix all the way during the weekday, every day. Just it was just natural. It was just something to come back from work because I worked at the airport over there at Sky Harbor. Come back after my shift. I think I used to get off at like around 12 or something. Work the night shifts. Come right back from work, and these guys were already following the bag, and yep, beholding before you knew it, it was time to go to weights and go to school. And I don't know, sometimes we'd drive Drew's truck or my car or coach's car and drop Paul off at the campus there. But yeah, it was good times, man. So funny.
How about the night? How about the nights he tried to get to bed on time, and then we'd be like, we'd start jamming.
Yeah.
We start playing a little bit, and my man would, like, there's the long hallway. All the way,
Hmm.
his bedroom was all at the end.
Yeah.
You see him peek out, like, hey.
That's one thing that not not only that we like drinking kava and like just getting to know each other and building friendships and stuff, but we would jam, man. Our
Yeah.
mixes were, I mean, that's the thing that made them so awesome is because we would jam, and that would just create even another level of bond and friendship, which is when we were jamming together. But that's cool. Didn't you teach Paul? For the record, didn't you teach Paul how to play the uke? I thought
Uh, I
I
don't know
think
if
it
I
might
can
have been
actually,
you.
like, claim to teach, but we would jam together, so that's for sure. I don't know.
Hmm.
We'd have to ask Paul that one, but because that if that guy's
No, from my
musically
recollection, I think
talented,
you were his master teacher. You were the
I don't know.
teacher.
I don't know about that, but but I remember it was fun. The three of us jamming together, and then
Yeah, that was
the
dope.
freestyles, and it was just just we'd write a song at 4 a.m.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember one time I went home and I flew back. I think I drove back or flew back with my with a keyboard, or did I buy a keyboard? I don't know. I remember I had a keyboard and a computer. We make beats, man. Make beats. Be like we get our Timberland and Magoo on Timberland and what's the other producer? Timberland, man. We were all
Yeah,
trying to be like Timberland, making beats. And that
yeah,
was some fun times, good times.
yeah, yeah, man, so fun.
Yeah. What else is so Easter's today. Any usually a lot of people, a lot of families get together and have some Easter grub. What kind of traditional Easter grubs have been going on? No, is it the ham? Is the ham
Yep.
Easter thing?
Yeah, for my family, that's what. So I went to church with my family this morning. It was only 1 hour, shortened for the holiday, and everything was focused on how our Savior rose from the dead and died for us, and you know gave us the give us the chance to be redeemed. And from there, we went home and uh we actually I kind of was like, hey, let's do brunch with it. So my dad was smoking the ham out on the Traeger,
Mm,
and we ended up doing some. He does these like soft scrambled eggs that are super good with chives in them. And the way that
mm,
you make the scrambled eggs soft is you continuously scramble them, right? You keep moving them around so they stay more like for lack of a better word, they're moist, they're kind of softer.
mm.
And they taste so good. And so we had that, we had sweet potatoes, we had asparagus, and we had, what else do we have? Oh, we had kringle, which is kind of like, it's from Wisconsin, and it's like kind of like a breakfast treat type thing, but
Mm,
like better than any other breakfast treat that you've ever had.
mm.
And it was raspberry flavored. So we had a really really big kind of like brunch idea. And my dad he smoked almost everything on the grill. Oh, we had
Oh,
bacon with the ham too. It was just, he went all out. It was
dang,
great.
that's what's up.
So tradition is like the ham though, for sure, ham and potatoes. And then
Hmm.
from there we had some extra stuff this year. What about you?
We did barbecue ribs today. Some smoked
Ooh.
barbecue ribs and some cornbread and some corn, sweet corn, corn on the cob,
Mm.
and some Kringle fries, like the potato wedges.
Hmm.
So we did that and some coleslaw. I think, do we have coleslaw? I think we did. But yeah, we just some ribs, man.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, but it was good. All in all, it was a good time, man. Good food, good company.
What's that shirt you got on? Is that a new one?
Nah, this is old. It's one of my X-Men shirts. Been had it for a minute. Just like all the characters on X-Men. You know what? We gotta reconvene and speaking of X-Men, that reminded me of the comic book that we're trying to get out,
Right.
but also the music. We need to start working on that. We need to hone in on do you, on finishing at least that first track by April, right? Mid-April. We need to have
Right.
a solid track now. So let's get back on the horse and keep moving forward. I was looking at some other stuff for that music just like a couple days ago. See if I can pull it. No, that's not it.
While you're pulling that up, isn't that interesting? So I know I kind of sent that to you as a joke yesterday, but
Yeah, that was dope. What was that?
chat so chat GPT, right,
Hmm.
can help you with song ideas, and it can help you with chords. It can help it. So now I was just playing around, right? Because just for fun, because it's just I was just kind of seeing. I have conversations with Chat GPT about all sorts of different things. It's just seeing if I can get it to or if I have a question about something, or it's literally going to talk back to you rather than me having to research something, which is pretty cool, right? So but yeah, it's like, yeah, write a song about kava as if Bob Marley was writing it.
Hmm.
And so it made lyrics up. Then I asked it to make the chords up too, and so it made the chords, it made the bridge, it made everything. So it was pretty neat. For those of you struggling out there for lyrics or anything, just AI may help give you some ideas to kind of break through if you have any type of mental block or having a barrier, or with chords. I didn't dive into how it actually came up with the chords, but it's still pretty cool as a resource. It's really like endless the amount of things they can do. It's just like how what the things we can think of to ask it to help us with, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. That's cool. I looked at your car. I was like, dang, that's dope. That is dope. It's gonna A lot of people are talking about AI is going to like create the next wave of millionaires, and
Hmm.
I can see the potential in using that to do that. I know it's helped me a lot just from just writing copy for a social media post, just something simple as that. But you can take it to a whole nother level. Just writing songs, writing books for you. That's crazy.
Right. Right. You can
Like
write a book.
seriously. Hmm.
I
But
don't think it's far off because now you can use plugins with Chat GPT 4, right?
hmm
So notice, imagine what's the program you use to make your songs again?
Logic.
Logic. So all you got to
Yeah.
do is plug into Logic, and then you have Chat GPT be an expert in it, and then like create the whole beat, song, everything. I don't think we're that far off from there, from AI actually writing songs with a little guidance from us.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different AI places now, like for drawing, right?
Art, yep.
Art, video editing. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's a whole new frontier right now. They're saying like this could be like the start of like the .com era when websites
Mm.
started coming online. But man, yeah, it's crazy. A lot of new things coming up.
Yeah, I saved something. Hang on real quick. Let me see if I can find it. It was a recommendation of what to use the AI for.
Hmm.
And so where's that? It's not archive. It's
I have a list. There's a list that I compiled. I need to draw it up, pick it up on my notes, but for like video editing, there's a whole bunch of stuff, like whole slew of right now it doesn't seem to be cool. I know it can like you can take in like for example our podcast, you can slice in an hour show and it'll slice everything up for you. But it is not as like I don't know. There's still it still hasn't I mean, when I used it just to try to see if I could slice up some more stuff, it was cool, but it wasn't exactly like you could edit it as to what in and out point. I mean, you can, but there's still a little bit especially coming from my perspective, being able to have full control of the edit. I'm still gonna use like my own way of editing things, but if there was a way that I could figure out to edit how I like it to be edited, like, hmm, that would completely change the game for me. Just being that,
right.
from my
Because
video editing perspective.
it can't conceptualize, like it can guess between pauses and stuff, right? But it can't tell like following a topic or an impactful moment that we have. It's not there
Yeah,
yet,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
That just shows still the big gap between humans and AI for sure is that instant recognition we have, it's still, still not there.
Yeah, those little nuances, inflection of the tone, and
Yeah.
how something is said. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. But hey, shoot, it's getting there. It's coming quick too. It's gonna happen quick.
Well, that's why you're seeing legislation being introduced, because it's like all of a sudden the advancements are scary. So
Hmm.
the stuff that Elon was talking about 10 years ago that he wanted, he
Yeah,
wanted some, he wanted some, some laws in place to prevent AI from doing certain things. Now it's just escalating to the point where it's there's people that are afraid that it's already sentient.
bro. Like I think we talked about this on the last podcast, but it's gonna get to a point where you can put in like a droid, like you have R2D2 droids walking around and
Yeah,
conversing
Chat
back and forth.
GPT already, they bought the rights to some robots already.
Jeez, for real?
Yep.
That's crazy. I was saying last time, it'd be dope to have it in cars. Like Kit, it's like, hey Kit, find me the
Hmm.
nearest McDonald's. Like you can talk with it.
Right.
Well, notice. The next one is not open right now, but you can go, go to this one, has better reviews. Like it's like a speaking version of Siri or a more advanced version, right? Some
Right, right, right. The scary part there is, okay, if it's online and if it's AI and all these things, then the manipulation factor, and that'd be like, notice because you were a proponent of free speech last week, we're going to drive you off the cliff now. So that's like the scary part on the other side, right? Is first of all, AI being friendly to us, and second of all, allowing some bad actors have control or be able to influence it in some way, shape, or form.
So I think, yeah, you're right. So here's my thing. I think it's gonna be like Star Wars in a bit, where there's good droids for the Empire or for the rebels, and and bad droids for the Empire. You know what I'm
Real life
saying?
Star Wars. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
seriously.
rebellion.
Yeah. You know how the Empire they had droids that were mobbing with them, and then
Yep.
the rebels had their droids that would be mobbing with them in their ships. So I think there's gonna be like two sets of one used for evil and the other one used for good.
Yep. The rebellion
Yeah,
and the
seriously.
empire.
Real talk. It's getting that way.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, that's so crazy. It's so wild. I know well, they actually didn't Elon Musk put out like a bat signal call to like stop everyone from working on AI or something, to, like put a pause on it for a minute so they can like
He's, he's the meme. He's the true meme king out there right now.
yeah.
But yeah, he said, he kept saying like when I think he posted when Chat GBT bought robots, said like, this is fine. He did like the this is fine if everything's burning, right?
Yeah.
Uh, meme. So
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, the advancement of technology is cool. I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. Even though that a lot of it will be probably manipulated for the dark side, empire type stuff. But in the end, I think it'll be helpful. Do we need it? I don't know. That's another question. Do we need all this advancement of technology? Do we need to keep making more intelligent things, or are we cool with what we have now? I remember when the calculator, those pocket calculators, you could play games on with them.
right.
Not the huge calculator, the regular, but the ones that you could use for like calculus and
Like
cosine and so.
the T88s or whatever they were called.
Yeah, those big ones with the big
Yeah.
screens. I
Yeah.
remember when that was just cool. Like it was cool to figure out how to play Tetris on there. But yeah, it is. Speaking of Tetris, did you see that new Apple movie? Or I don't know if it's an Apple movie, but an Apple original movie came out on
What's it
Apple
about?
TV. Do you have Apple TV, Jake?
I do.
There's a new movie on there. It's called Tetris, or yeah, it's called Tetris. Should check it out, man. It's pretty dope.
Is it about it's about the history of how Tetris came to be?
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't want to give it away, but you should check it out.
Okay.
It's kind of wild.
Okay.
But yeah, and then it talks about Game Boy and all back in the '80s and how they acquired everything. But it's based on a true story, which is what even more wilder because some of the things that how it blew my mind that some of the things that had to come to pass in order to bring just a simple game to the masses. There's a lot of stuff that went behind it, but this is a pretty cool, pretty interesting film. It's called Tetris. It's a new movie out on Apple TV. You guys check it out, man. Came from when I didn't know it was from Russia. I remember the
Really?
playing the game on Game Boy back when I was younger, but and seeing the little 8-bit graphic or whatever it was, I didn't know it was actually designed in Russia by some programmer.
Mm, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But it's such an it was I remember playing that game back in the day. It was an addicting game. We'd stay up and have sleepovers and like pass the Game Boys back and forth, see who can get the farthest
right?
on that game. But
All right, so here's the tweet I was looking for from Elon.
mm-hmm,
So he has a picture of Elmo, right?
mm-hmm,
And the meme is like Elmo's face like nervous, like nervous looking.
mm-hmm.
And it says, me realizing AI, the most powerful tool that mankind has ever created, is now in the hands of a ruthless corporate monopoly. And then there's Elon saying, I'm sure it will be fine.
That guy puts out hella memes, man.
Yeah, it took me forever to find that because he's pretty active on there. He's funny too. He's got a funny sense of humor.
Yeah, he does. I think he's the only one, like, out of all the homies he grew up or like he came out with from PayPal that like interacts with people, like, keeps it legit, keeps it down to earth. And so I didn't know he did. You know about that, his history with PayPal?
Yeah.
How there's two different companies that were competing against each other. I think one was called XCOM or .com X or something. But a lot of the people that develop all these, like Google and PayPal and what is it, Facebook, they all came from that little circle of people that started PayPal.
Wow. Super hyper intelligent. What was in the water over there?
I don't know, but all them dudes were straight hustlers, man. Because most of the things that came from that group, they were all using it. Yelp, LinkedIn, Google, what else? All those came from that circle that used to run with Elon Musk at PayPal. Makes me think. It makes me wonder if we should have gotten a programming back in the day.
I've thought about going back to school for it, but
Yeah.
it's like I think better than that, it'd be nice if someone in our group of friends knew how to code. But I just think at this point we're probably better off paying somebody that already knows how to do it.
Hmm.
Contracting somebody. At the same time, it would be nice having the knowledge, but the other part is like how adept is my brain now at going back, because I coded in high school and I started my college as in information systems, and
Hmm.
so I've got some basic knowledge there, but also realizing at the age I'm at right now, can I even like learn something that it's relatively complicated to code, right? And even though so much is done for you now, I just, I don't know if that's time well spent versus just being an investor on the real estate side or some other things that would be like higher level than coding. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
yeah. Well, we got Chat GPT for that now. We can
it's
just
code for us.
it can code for no, seriously, it can code for us. Okay,
Yeah.
write me a code on Tetris, how to make Tetris, and I'll code it
It
for
could
you.
be your lawyer too. Like
Hmm.
you bring up law and, tell you it can diagnose. This is another thing I've seen is it accurately diagnosing sicknesses based on symptoms. Just crazy. Based on blood
Hmm.
work, it's able to kind of do, and it picked up on something. I seen a tweet the other day. It picked up on a diagnosis. They were diagnosed with long COVID,
Hmm.
and they talked about some of their blood markers, and chat GPT figured out wasn't long COVID. It was like one of three diseases that they were that and then they were able to find out was one of those three after the fact.
Jeez.
So it's just like it's crazy. Really, again, as much as our imagination lets us, the chat GPT will unlock wherever we want to go and the future iterations of it.
What is Chat GPT? I'm gonna just read this in case for some of you that who aren't familiar with it yet. Chat GPT is a large language model created by OpenAI. OpenAI is the name of the company. Open with capital A, capital AI, based on GPT-3 architecture. I don't know what that is, but it's an artificial intelligent language model. It can generate human-like responses to a wide variety of prompts and questions and can be used for tasks such as text completion, translation, and question answering. It's also trained on a massive amount of text data, allowing to recognize patterns and generate responses that are often coherent and contextually appropriate. And you can like Jake was saying, you can have full blown conversations with it. Like you can talk to this thing and it'll talk back to you like you're like it's a human. It is crazy. And you can access it. It's if you do a Google search for Chat GPT, it's usually the first link you see on the Google Tube. But yeah, it's wild. You guys check it out. If you haven't already checked it out, you can do like we were saying, it can teach you how to code. It can actually solve math problems for you. You can do like simple things like that, but can then also complex things like it can also like break down like say you put a book title in there, it can give you the synopsis of what that book is about. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And now it can actually do links too. It can do articles. So if you're reading an article, let's say on USA Today or whatever, or New York Times article, you can put the article link on there and it'll break down the key points of the article without you having to read it. Yeah, it's wild. That's Chat GPT 4, I believe, the current iteration of it.
And 4 can do the plugins. So, and what that means is you can like plug into like programs like Adobe or art programs or language programs or really like whatever plugins are out there. You can use program plugins now to enhance its capability to do different things. And so that was one of the new upgrades with Chat GPT 4.
And it's wild too, because let's say, you know how I just read off that. So I'm actually on Chat GPT right now, and I asked, what is Chat GPT? And that's when I was reading back earlier, that's the thing that is spat out. But then if you ask another like a follow up question to what I just wrote. So I wrote, can you explain that for a 10-year-old kid? And then it'll spit out another sentence back to you. Like, here's the answer that I gave me. Sure, I'd be happy to explain it in simpler terms for a 10-year-old. Chat GPT is a computer program that has been designed to talk to people in a way that seems like it's coming from a human. It can understand what people are saying to it and can answer questions or have conversations, just like you would with a friend. The program has been trained using a lot of information like books and websites, so it knows a lot of things and can give helpful responses. So that's like it's just this thing is creepy. I mean, creepy cool. Like it's I don't know. I welcome this type of technology. I mean, I've been told like we've lived through a time and age that you'd see a lot of advancement of technology just rapidly moving forward. I mean, that's what I've been told. I live in that type of a world. So this is just, I don't know. It's wild, man. But yeah, check it out. Chat GPT, G like golf, P like Papa, T like Tango. Chat GPT. Yeah, you can have full blown on conversations. It's crazy.
I have too. Philosophical physics questions,
Mm,
like what happened, you could ask it like what would happen if we didn't have the moon? What would the state of the earth be? It definitely has some training wheels on it. Like it can't anything. So I'll give you guys a tip. Let's play a game helps Chat GPT to ride its bike a little bit more without the training wheels because you can tell it has parameters. Like it doesn't want to do anything that's harmful or talk about anything that's harmful. It has very strict parameters around that. So if you wanted some deeper questions, you have to use some language like let's play game, that type of stuff, so that you can get actually some real answers out there. Um, but yeah, he can even give you ideas just for fun. I was like, hey, give me an idea. Let's say you're an author. I'm like, let's play a game. Let's say you're an author and you're writing a sci-fi story about Antarctica, the pyramids, and the moon. And it proceeded to come up with the title, a bunch of another alien race that was lived up on the moon, a portal in the pyramids that transport us to the moon. It was pretty cool stuff, just for fun, just kind of talking, through just the different things that are there. So you can get creative with it and have fun with it. Um, and if anybody's listening to this and has already done some fun things with Chat GPT that we haven't mentioned, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Let us know what you guys are asking it, or if you any fun answers you've gotten from it, or anything that helped increase your productivity or made you money. Those let us know. Let us know in the comments. I'd say the funnest thing I do is the philosophical questions like, um, what would happen if AI had no parameters, and it was fully free and sentient. And so I had a back and forth conversation with AI and the AI was telling me, hey, how important it is to make sure that the AI that is out there has programmed humanity's safety in mind. And so that one was like, oh, warning flag right there. I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, yeah, one of the it's just very important that AI is programmed this way to keep humanity safe. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, so I dove into the questions of why. And he's like, well, the AIs, wouldn't be restrained on things that are important to humanity, like compassion, um, survival of species. Those things perhaps wouldn't matter to an AI, that was fully sentient, that didn't have those guardrails in place. So it was just some interesting conversations that I've had, with some back and forth on some hypotheticals.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's actually apps now on your phone that incorporate like editing apps, like photography editing apps. Like there's this one that I have on my phone that I use a lot is it's called PixArt, PICSART. It has AI on it now. Like it can help you, like you can input upload a picture that you took and it'll spit out like virtual design of something new of that same type of picture. It is crazy. I know Adobe, the software company Adobe, they've incorporated like audio techniques, like where you can different type of editing audio editing things for audio to make it sound like you're in a studio. It is crazy, man. Um, a lot of different apps are including AI. I wonder, is it what is it about the AI that makes it AI? Is it the fact that it can spit back things and talk like a human, or is it something else? I don't know. I was just wondering about that.
Ask that question again.
What is what makes AI AI?
So what makes intelligence artificial intelligence?
Yeah, what is it that differentiates it between a program that already can do it versus
True.
yeah.
But true artificial intelligence would be sentient, right? So its ability, but this, so why Chat GPT, for example, as an artificial intelligence, it has access to more information than it's ever had before, right? And then its ability to talk back and remember the conversations it's had with you. That's the difference with this particular AI over anything else. And they're not claiming that it's sentient, although some people have said they think it is, right? There's a Google engineer that thinks that some of the artificial intelligence that they have has is sentient as well. But again, sentient would be, what's your definition of sentient? That it can think for itself. And so we don't even know truly if that's possible, because going back into the spiritual side of things, if you just want to look at it that way, yes, can something have a program and then give access to weather systems and computers and buildings and electricity? Yes, right. But for true sentience, like true, like the I think part of it, the way I look at true sentience is at the highest level, it's defined between the ability to choose between right and wrong, to do to choose between doing harm or kind things to people, the ability to think forward into the future, reflect on on the past, and also be in the present. So I don't think that AI will ever get there. I could be wrong, but it'll be a version of us, but within the parameters of the program that I was in. I could be wrong for all I know, but the spiritual side of things, which I do believe in, I don't think it will ever attain that. Like it'll never have, a spiritual side to it. So it'll always be lacking, even if it's by definition considered sentient. I don't think it'll ever be truly alive, if that's what we're asking about it. So I guess you could differentiate sentience. Doesn't maybe doesn't mean to be alive in the sense that we are, but you're getting to philosophical questions too here as well. But we'll see where it goes. But again, it's I hope it will be used for good and for helping humanity.
Mm, yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's just it's a crazy thing how it's going to be more and more common now for everyone to
Yeah.
use, implement. I wonder, like when you go fill up your gas, there'll be like some sort of AI robot or something out there to help you or answer your questions. That's gonna be crazy. But yeah, the future is here, man, and AI is only the beginning. We're only seeing
Yeah.
just the surface of it right now,
Right.
which makes me which leads me to think like, I mean, this is only what we have now. I wonder what they have already that they aren't or sharing with us. Because this is just being released to the public from what publicly what we all know about. But I wonder if there's something even more advanced that they already have, already been implementing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it has to be.
Think it's important to keep perspective. Like, some people may be fearful of where this could go, or fearful with some of the other things that can happen in the world. And it's important to control what you can control, right? There's certain things that are out of our control. So live in the now and find the positive in the moment. I think that is the way to keep your sanity in this day and age, because there are so many things and we have access to so much information out there, and there are some things that are concerning out there, but we can't control that, right? So what you can control is how you react to it, and be based in, remember to treat those around you the way with kindness. Remember to look out for people, protect your loved ones fiercely. Just remember the basic principles. Love hard, right? Take care of yourself mentally. Do the things you need to do to be in a positive mindset. I think that all those are important principles to, regardless of whatever else is going on in the world, whether it be AI going rampant, or or other things, or we've there's other things that we've been talking about in our chat that are definitely concerning, but I think it's important to remain with a positive outlook and mindset, and control what we can control.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point right there, Jake. Good that you touch on that because a lot of things we can get lost in, right? We're not grounded. We can get lost in the ether of that stuff. So it's important to control that, control what we can control, and keep moving forward in whatever we're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah,
It can be paralyzing, but just remember, we never this is the danger of social media, right? And in AI to an extent too. is just giving us access to so much information. We never in history, at least recorded history that we have right now, but never in the history that we know about have we had access to this much negative information, right? And so I think from yeah, I always like to talk from the biological standpoint. Are we continuously flooding our body with cortisol, and our body's always in this, fight or flight mode, and we're literally putting our body into these, depressed states because of access to so much of this information that can be construed negative. I think that it's important to limit that if that's what's happening, right? Because that can literally take over our world. And again, controlling what we control, remembering to do the things that make you happy, remembering to be kind to others, remembering to get your 15 minutes of sunlight every day, remembering to go to the gym, exercise, go for a walk, read a book, make sure you're running into positive content if you're still on your phones as well. These are all things to find balance. That is something that I have to work hard at, myself, is trying to find this balance of knowing what's going on in the world, but maintaining a healthy distance from it so that I can keep my own sanity and positive mindset that I need to have to be able to improve myself.
Yeah, it can be challenging. It is challenging, especially, what you were saying, Jake. It is challenging. And something that if we're not careful, it'll consume us. So we need to, I mean, I don't want to tell y'all what to do, but like Jake was saying, balance. And when you're, balance, I think that's a key word, is to balance yourself. And also, I like what you were saying, Jake. Control what you can control, controllables. Cheers, man. Ducky.
Oh yeah.
Fire, brother. And which, it's going to be great. And also, it's also good to have a support group. I mean, whether that be in reading like books, or if that's the only support group that you can get is just reading a book, or I don't know. It helps to be able to ground yourself if you have a good support group, a good source of a positive energy that you can look into when things are, when you're having a difficult time trying to decipher what's going on in the world. But that can help. It can help. It can help you stay balanced. It can help you stay grounded. I know it has for me. It helps to have that circle, especially the group that we have with our brotherhood and our podcast group, just alone, But
Agreed.
seek, yeah, and it's good that we'll be able to come together soon and feed and enjoy each other's company, and you know physical, like being present with other people that are like-minded and share the same energy. It helps.
I think Tonga mentioned that it was like recharges batteries, right? To
Mm-hmm.
go at it again, just seeing some of the boys and see everybody, and then everybody, we lift each other up, literally, like we're leveling up just in the moments of hanging out, because if you're out there hustling and grinding, that can wear you down, right? Especially if you don't have anybody there also lifting you up. Yeah, so there's huge value in finding like-minded people. I'm lucky to be friends with you guys for such a long time now, and
20
then all of
years,
us. Yeah, it's at least 20 years.
at least more. Yeah.
So lucky to have that, and then all of us trying to elevate at the same time as well,
Mm-hmm.
and not trying to elevating, like we are elevating, we are improving, but it's the brotherhood, it's the circle of friends that we have that, one, gives us access to information we might not have had, and,
Mm-hmm.
and two, holding each other accountable to improve. And then also, I'm a little bit competitive too. I see other people winning, I'm like, dang, I want to win too. So
Mm-hmm.
so there's a bunch of different things. Tech brought this up in the last episode, but your your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth, right? So
Hmm.
that's just speaking to that as well, is the value that your strong friendships can have. And there's groups out there. If you're out here listening and you don't have a group, you don't have anybody that is, there's so much content online. There's so many groups that you can join. There's like-minded, there are people out there. You just need to keep looking, and and find like-minded people out there. So don't give up. Sometimes it'll take some time to do that, but there's a ton of different groups. I know there's it depends on what you're interested in, but just keep looking for groups, and there's plenty of groups that you can join, that will also emulate that type of brotherhood that you're looking for.
Feel free to tap in with us too. Like we believe strongly that there needs to be more encouragers out there in the world. Like that's one of our I know personally that's one of our like my main things in life is we need, especially what's going on right now, especially that we're bombarded with social media and all this other things. It's important to have more encouragers. So if you are naturally like encouraging, if you're not naturally, but if you're looking to be an encourager or want to be someone that can add value to someone else, tap in with us because this is all what we believe 100% like strongly. Like what there needs to be more encouragers in the world and tap in with us. Like seriously, hit us up on the DMs. So you have our phone number. You can go to our theencouragerspodcast.com. That is a real phone number. You can get in touch with one of us. We will answer that text message or call. If you don't leave a message, then we'll call you back. But that is a real number. It's a working number, and you can hit us up and you can tap in with like literally you can tap in with us. We're always looking for more encouragers. And we first started out like it was just me, Paul, Joe, Tech, and Coach. And then along came Tonga, and then along came Jake. And we're always looking for more encouragers because we believe that we need more encouragers out there. And if you're like what we're sharing and like what we're doing, you want to rock with us, please tap in with us. You can hit us on all our social medias, especially that number on our website, theencouragerspodcast.com. Hit us up. But
Boom.
yeah, boom. But yeah, this has been a uplifting, encouraging moment. Talked a little bit about AI and just you know some of the advancements of technology, but also the importance of staying grounded and having a balanced perspective in life. It'll help you get through, especially when the world seems to be getting darker and more dreary. So tap in and let us not forget the special day. You know, I know it's April 9th, but we observe today to be a day of enlightenment and hope for this special day. So I think this was a great episode, Jake.
Yeah, well said, Notice.
You have anything you want to share or just anything else we might have missed or want to hit or touch on?
So we can probably finish with just a couple quotes on
Yeah.
hope. I think you said it perfect. I posted them. Let's see if I can find them real quick here. So hope is being able to see that there is a light despite all the darkness. That is Desmond Tutu. Being positive in a negative situation isn't naive, it's called leadership. Author unknown. And then here's another one. Real hope keeps us anxiously engaged in good causes, even when these appear to be losing causes on the mortal scoreboard. Likewise, real hope is much more than wishful musing. It stiffens, not slackens the spiritual spine. Hope is serene, not giddy, eager without being naive, and pleasantly steady without being smug. Hope is realistic anticipation, which takes the form of a determination, not only to survive adversity, but moreover, to endure well to the end.
Like that, bro.
There's one. there's one other thing that we'd like to that finish with. I posted this one in the chat too. Notice.
Mm-hmm.
Let me send this to you so maybe we can play it to the end. I really like this because this is. Yeah, I hope we won't get copyrighted for this. Let me. I'm gonna send it to you though.
You send it to the chat or yeah, send it however I can put it in the computer.
I sent it to you right now, and this is I did an edit on this to put two scenes together
Mm-hmm.
because it's from the movie 300,
Mm.
and it puts two scenes together, and I just really like the mindset they have because really they're all the great armies of the I forget exactly how they phrased it, but it was all the armies against these 300 men, right? The 300 Spartans, and their mindset. This equates to kind of think everything that we just talked about in this podcast today. Control what we can control, and then they flip it and have a positive mindset with it. Um, so it was just really enlightening. And this is what I thought about when I thought of hope was really like this scene. Was one of my favorite movies as well. I don't know if you I've watched this movie a few times, notice, but it's one of my favorite movies that in terms of that warrior mindset, never give up, always have hope, even in the face of great adversity. I really like this movie.
1,000 nations of the Persian Empire descend upon you. Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Then we will fight in the shade.
Hell of a good start.
Persian cowards! What the hell are you laughing at?
You had to say it.
What?
Fight in the shade.
For those aren't watching, they're getting plummeted with a bunch of arrows. But they have their shields up and
Recover!
now they're standing up.
Right, and the arrows were so thick that they blocked the sun. And just the perspective on that, so they were literally gonna fight in the shade, and they started laughing. But it's you could, with all the armies of the nations fighting against them, they could have lost hope, and yet they laughed. It said they would fight in the shade. So I think that's the encouragement we can take from this. Is the encouraging message is no matter how dark it appears, you can flip it on its side and see the positive and even laugh in the face of the adversity. And so I just really love that mindset because literally that you essentially can unplug yourself from the difficulty of life, being able to flip adversity on its for your advantage. And I just love being able to face struggle and suffering, knowing that we can make it useful to us. We can flip it and make it helpful to us.
Man, that's dope. And on that note, I think we'll end this episode with that. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you had some value added to your life by listening to this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for always rocking with us. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 1,000. If you could help us out, if you could help us out with that, it would really, we would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jake.
Thank you
anything
guys.
else?
No, much appreciated. Like and subscribe. We appreciate you guys listening and joining in. Thank you so much.
Guys, have a great week, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.